And we begin tonight with an East Valley woman who's being remembered after stopping to help another driver on the Loop 202 after a crash over the weekend. And that good deed cost the woman her life. Thanks for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Troy Hayden. Caribe's off tonight.
I'm Mark Curtis. Kathy King was just trying to do the right thing. That's what she did. And that's when she was also hit and killed by a car on the freeway. Tonight, 12 News journalist Gabriela Becerra looks at how her family is remembering her.
Helping others came as second nature for Kathy King.
Kathy was a very loving, kind. She would literally give the shirt off her back to you.
It didn't matter who you were or what the problem was.
Whatever she could do to help you, whatever it would take, she would do it.
That's why it's not hard for King's family to believe her last act was one of kindness.
What hurts the most is that, she passed away just from helping, because that's the type of person she was. She just had a good heart.
King was on her way to work Sunday morning when she passed by a single car crash near the mini stack. She pulled over on the side of the road and got out of her car, but the driver had abandoned the wreckage just minutes before. Another car swerved to avoid the crash, hitting King instead. She died at the hospital.
It hurt.
It hurts.
Most
I feel
definitely.
now she basically died for no reason because she thought the person was in the car and she was going to help and he wasn't there. So it's like a life that was just lost for absolutely no reason.
The Arizona Department of Public Safety says they're investigating whether or not the driver who hit King could have been impaired. Detectives are still looking for the driver who started this chain reaction of crashes.
The world has truly lost a treasure.
King's husband tells me she was a mother and grandmother who loved her family more than anything.
Right away, I knew she was the love of my life. There was nobody else on earth I would rather be with.
Her infectious spirit made everyone happy.
The life of any situation. No one would never not smile around her.
And this loss will leave a big hole in many hearts.
She was my best friend, the love of my life.
She will.
Now she's gone. And I never get to say anything else to her.
And I think it's hard on our family at this time, because she had a big heart.
In Mesa, Gabriela Becerra, 12 News.
Gabby, thanks. New tonight. A Maricopa County judge has ordered the mother of Deon Johnson to pay over $350,000 in legal fees after a lawsuit tied to his fatal shooting by a state trooper was dismissed. Johnson was killed back in 2020 during a traffic stop on the 101. His death sparked outrage, partly because the trooper who shot Johnson wasn't wearing a body camera. Deon's mother, Irma Johnson, sued the state and DPS trooper George Cervantes, but the court ultimately ruled against Johnson, saying that the trooper's actions were justified. Now, a judge says that Johnson has to cover the legal fees incurred by the state during the proceedings.
An active search underway for a 20-year-old hiker who went missing in northwest Peoria over the weekend. Luke Wannenberg was last seen Saturday afternoon leaving for a hike near the Vistancia neighborhood. The Peoria Police Department spent today searching the desert mountains between northwest Peoria and Surprise by foot, also in the air using drones and helicopters. Luke's family says his phone is either dead or has been turned off, something that hasn't happened on any of his previous hikes.
Wonder why, and if he's hurt or if he can't respond. Or if there's something else going on that we're not aware of. So we just think that maybe he might be hiding. It might be more difficult for the police to do their job and everyone, because we just don't know.
So again, Luke's still missing tonight. He's 5'11", 130 pounds, was last seen wearing gray shorts and a black short-sleeved shirt. His family said he could be anywhere in the desert between northwest Peoria and Surprise. If you have any information on where he is, or if you see him, you're urged to call 911.
Tonight, the murder of 14-year-old Emily Pike remains unsolved. For nearly a month, investigators have been searching for whoever killed and dismembered her, leaving her remains in trash bags off the US 60 near Globe. Tonight, more than 100 people showed up at the Capitol demanding justice and advocating for change. 12 News journalist Bianca Bona was at the protest and joins us live in studio with more. Bianca?
Yeah, Mark, a 2016 report shows that out of 5,700 reports of missing Native women and girls, Only 116 of those cases were logged in the National Missing Persons Database. Advocates believe by addressing that issue, we can prevent another case like Emily's. A sea of red outside the Arizona Capitol Monday, as drums and chants echoed, hoping lawmakers inside these buildings hear their pleas.
Today we call upon our elected leaders and decision makers to show us that Indigenous lives matter.
This group is here to raise awareness for missing and murdered Indigenous people.
I fear my own child walking these streets, joining other areas, not knowing, is my daughter going to be another statistic? This is the fear what us Indigenous nations live with.
For Native women, according to an urban Indian health report, murder is the third leading cause of death. And 14-year-old Emily Pike's murder bringing the issue to the forefront.
How they found our child is very disheartening. And to me, I see hate in that.
Arizona State Senator Teresa Hatatli is the chair of the Missing and Murdered Indigenous People Task Force and has been following Emily's case, which remains unsolved. Emily was last seen after leaving the group home where she lived in Mesa. Weeks later, some of her remains were found in trash bags in a remote area off the US 60 near Globe.
When she went missing, they didn't even tell the family. Why is it that if they're a runaway, they don't get the attention that they should be getting? And they should be exhausting all avenues. And I don't see that happening at all.
As Hatatli has serious questions for the group home where Emily lived, she's supporting a bill that's already passed the House, which would create an Amber Alert system for missing Indigenous people. What would be a small step in the right direction.
It took the loss of her life to elevate it. I think that's an injustice. If somebody goes missing, we should be elevating it.
And that bill is set to go before the Senate Public Safety Committee on Wednesday. Now back to Emily's case. Local and federal officials, including the FBI, continue to investigate, and so far, no suspects have been identified. We're live in studio. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
Bianca, thanks. Following an increase in violent crime, the governor of the Gila River Indian community has extended a curfew for those under 18. It will now stay in place for an additional 3 weeks. It was originally set to expire yesterday, but the tribe's governor, Stephen Rowe Lewis, issued an executive order on Saturday to extend it. The curfew applies to anyone under 18 who's unaccompanied. It's in effect every night from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. There are exceptions for emergency work and school. All right, time to talk weather with meteorologist Chris Dunn. And Chris, I know we've got these storms coming in. The first one hits sometime tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I think by this time tomorrow night, we actually see some raindrops falling out of the sky in the valley. It'll be breezy near 80 tomorrow. Tuesday night rain moving in and a stronger system all the way for Thursday. So the old 1-2 punch once again. So let's talk about that Tuesday night rain. For your Tuesday, most of the day will be sunny to partly cloudy, increasing clouds late in the day. And we have some raindrops right here at 6 p.m. What exactly does that mean? Well, by 6 p.m., there's a slight chance we could see some development, some isolated showers popping up here and there. And that's about the time it gets dark around here. 40%, 50%, the heart of the storm system through the middle of the night, midnight, 2 a.m., 4 a.m., 70% chance likely during the overnight hours. Here's our high-res futurecast, and you can see most of the day tomorrow is rain-free, although as we get past 6 o'clock, that's when the heart of this storm system parks itself over the valley and then clears out by first thing Wednesday morning. So Tuesday night is the main impact with the first surge. Gusty winds, rain, and snow above 6,000 feet. Use caution driving out there if you're in the mix of things during the middle of the night and early morning hours on Wednesday. We'll talk about round 2 and the latest computer runs I have on that for Thursday. And it looks like it could be the real deal once again around here.
All right, Chris, see you in a few minutes. Despite a record-breaking heat we saw last summer, there's some new data out that shows that fewer people lost their lives from our extreme heat in Maricopa County than the previous year. And in fact, it's the first time in a decade that we saw a decline year to year in heat deaths. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly joins us live in studio breaking down these findings. What's going on, Chase?
Well, Troy, the new data really follows the same trends we've been seeing over the past couple of years, but with summer right around the corner, cities are getting ready for that heat. When summer comes in Arizona, habits have to change.
We do head out of town a lot.
Whether you're walking your dog like Melissa LaRue
Mornings and evenings are the only time you really go out.
or surviving outside.
Get on the light rail, just drink a lot of water.
Tashina Bluehouse says she's been living on the streets of Phoenix for the past 2 years, and last summer was unbearable.
It was very hot because there was a lot of people that were getting heat strokes.
We went 113 days with temperatures above 100 degrees. According to new data released by Maricopa County Department of Public Health, 602 people lost their lives to the heat. The three main groups hurt the most were those who are unsheltered, elderly, and those who are using drugs. Dr. Nick Staub, the chief medical officer for the county, pointed out that more than half of these deaths happened on days where there wasn't extreme heat.
These temperatures for the whole heat season can be dangerous to members of our community.
While the number is high, he says it's the first time since 2014 that we actually saw a decline in heat-related deaths.
We had several strategies to increase access to the heat relief network.
Interim Public Health Advisor Yanitza Soto with the City of Phoenix said last year they launched new programs to help people get out of the sun.
For the first time, the City of Phoenix opened a 24/7 heat respite location, and we also had extended our heat cooling centers,
which Bluehouse says helped her survive the summer.
The cooling center at the library was helpful because you can go in and they provide cold water and it's very cool in there.
Phoenix still plans on expanding operations, including new housing for those unsheltered, and continuing its heat relief programs, with many believing they are in for another extreme summer.
I think it's gonna just continue to get worse and worse.
Now, I did ask the city what their plans are for this upcoming summer in regards to programs, but I was told that Phoenix's Office of Homeless Solutions will be presenting those ideas for their heat relief to the city council at the end of the month. So at that time, we'll learn what programs they'll be rolling out this time. We're live in the studio. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
All right, Chase, thank you for that.